Whatever.
What?
We're ready.
We're ready. All right.
Okay.
Well, did it get your intro or you're not?
No.
We'll do it right now.
Hi guys, I miss you. Another day of math.
All right, we're on lesson 16, page 95. So turn to that page. It is your starter problem. And today we're going to make a number line. And the question is, Hannah bought 1 yard of ribbon to wrap 4 small presents. Okay, so we got 4 presents, we got 1 yard of ribbon. She wants to cut the ribbon into equal parts. Draw and label a number line from 0 yards to 1 yard to show where Hannah will cut the ribbon. Make sure to label all your fractions, and don't forget to label the fraction with the 0 and our whole as well. So go ahead and work on your problem right now with breaking your 1 yard of yarn into 4 pieces.
Pause.
Pause. All right, we're back. Hopefully it looks a little bit like mine, where at 0 yards, we're gonna have 0 fourths because we broke it into 4 pieces because there was 4 presents. Our first line is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then our whole was 4/4. Okay? Denominator, bottom number stayed the same because we cut it in fourths. And then how many fourths do we have? 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So that's how that one should have looked. We are going to get a little more advanced with our number line.
I like that new marker.
Pretty nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of mine too. I didn't even steal it from you.
Okay. Well,
All right, so we've got 0. We're still going to start at 0. We're going to cut this one into thirds. We're going to go to 1, okay? And we're cutting it into thirds. So this one at 0, since it's thirds, would be 0 thirds. We get to the first line, 1/3. Second line, 2/3. Now we get to the whole, it's going to be 3/3. Now we're going to get a little more advanced. We're going to go to 2. And we kind of did that with the pizzas. If you remember back when we had pizzas like this. How many fourths do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 fourths. We had about a week of doing stuff like that. That's kind of what we're doing here, but it's going to be on the number line. Okay? And remember, our bottom number, we've cut this pizza into fourths. It stays the same, even though we have 8 total possible pieces. Some of you were confused with that back when we did it. It still stays fourths. Okay, so that would be 5/4. Let's go here. Okay, now we have 7 fourths. Okay, 7 pieces. So now we have 2 full ones. It's going to be 8 fourths.
Or 2.
Or 2 whole.
Whole.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing with the number line. So we're going to keep on going. So this is going to be 2. I'm still going to cut it into thirds. Okay. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3. Okay. So that would be the same as if I made my peace sign and had all the pieces filled in. So that would be 2 whole or 6/3 because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my top number. And remember, my bottom number stays the same.
God bless
Bless you.
America. Thank you.
All right. Let's keep on going with our number line. Okay, we're going to go to 3. Still breaking it in thirds. I can go ahead and fill in my bottom number already because I know it's going to be thirds. And then, so I went 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3,
7/3.
7/3,
8
8/3, 9/3. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today.
So the
So
bottom
just-
number stays thirds because you cut it into.
The size of the pieces
3.
don't change, Mrs. Nutter says.
Got it.
Got it? All right. All right, so turn the page to our first problems on, looks like this.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. And they did the first one for us, which was nice. They cut it into halves. It says estimate to equally partition and label the fraction on the number line. Label the whole fractions and then box them. The first one is done for you. So they boxed in 0 halves. Okay, they cut it into half, into 2 pieces. So 1 half, 2 halves, which is 1, 3 halves, and then 4 halves, which is 2. Let's do the next one together. This one they're cutting into thirds. Actually, we just did that one. So I did that one on our example, but they're starting at 1 on this one. They're starting at 1. So I know it's going to be 3. And then we go to 2. I know it's going to be 3. You need to fill in. That's not going to be 0 because it's not, because we had 0 thirds over here. And then 1/3, 2/3. Go ahead and fill out the rest of letter B on your own. Go ahead and pause it. When you're done, we'll get to C, D, and E. Mrs. Nutter's arms are getting tired. Hopefully she doesn't shake too much and make you sick. That would be bad.
I'm professional.
She is a professional. You're holding your hand up. She's struggling a little bit. She's going to get through it. So our first box, right there, if you can see that, I hope you can, you're going to put 3/3 in there because that is 1 whole. And then you should number it 4/3, 5/3, and then 6/3 will be in your last box there. Let's look at letter C. They cut it into halves. But with this one, you can see they're not starting at 0 again. They're trying to make us think. They're starting at 2. And then they're going to 3. And then they're going to 4. But since it's halves, I can already break it into halves. I know my bottom number is going to be 2. Okay, but let's think about it real quick. 0, if on my number line I'm 0, it'd be 0 halves. If I had 1, it would be 2 halves. So what's 2 going to be? That's where you got to figure that out and fill out the rest of that number line. Go ahead and pause it. Good luck. Whoops. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
So, hopefully you knew that this should be 4 halves. If you didn't, you could have drawn the line and thought about it here. So here I got 1. I know that is 2 halves. Then it would be 3 halves. And now 4 halves. Keep counting up. 5 halves. 6 halves is 3. 7 halves. And 8 halves is 4. So that is how that one would have looked. All right, our next one, letter D. I'll help you with letter D a little bit. We're cutting it into fourths, and I'll get you started. We're not starting at 0 again. We're starting clear at 3.
Whoa.
And we're going to 5. So we got a 4 here, and we got a 5. So that is letter D. So we're cutting it into fourths. I'm going to go ahead and do that. To the best of my ability. And since we're cutting into fourths, guess what your bottom number is going to be?
4.
4. So I can do a 4 on all of those. A lot of them there, guys. Okay? All right. So now we got to think how many pieces would be 3 full? Let's draw a pizza with this. Okay? So if I got 1 pizza, it would be
4 fourths.
4 fourths. Let's add another pizza to it. So now I have 2 pizzas. How many fourths do I have?
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it would be 8 fourths. Now we're trying to find how many 3 pizzas would be. This is where we're going to pause. Go ahead and count. Fill in your number line. Go.
Good strategy use there, Mr. Senicki.
Thank you, Mrs. Nutter. I like visuals.
I do too.
All right. So hopefully you were able to count. I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 fourths is 3. And then I can just keep counting up. 13, 14, 15, 16 fourths is 4. 17, 18, 19, 20. Whoops, not 26. All right? So that's how you get the top number. There's maybe an easier way, a little trick. If you want to take the whole number times the denominator, that will get you the top number. But you can only do that with whole numbers. You can't do it with these in here. So I'm going to take 4 times 4 and I get
16.
I'm going to take 5 times 4 and I'm going to get
20.
20. Okay? So you can, that's a little trick you can do. So I took 3 times 4, got me 12. So I took my whole number times my denominator and got 12. Whole number times the denominator, got 16. Whole number, denominator, 20. There's a little trick. All right, Mrs. Nutter. I think we got one more problem on that page. Ooh, okay. So this one, we can use our trick, hopefully. So letter E, it's breaking it into thirds. We're not starting with 0 again. They think we can handle 6. And it's going clear to 9. My goodness gracious.
Wow.
Let's see if we can do this. So we're going to fill in we're going into thirds. But I have to have a 7 and I have to have an 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and break it into thirds. So now I have 1, 2, 3 pieces in between 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3 pieces in between 7 and 8. And you guessed it, 1, 2, 3 pieces in between 8 and 9. What's my denominator going to be? My bottom number on all of these, Mrs. Nutter?
3, because
3.
it's in thirds.
Great. All right, so that's how it's going to look. You got to find the top number. We haven't really talked about that. That's called the numerator. Numerator. Okay, so we got to find the numerator. Hopefully you can do your trick. If not, rewind it, because earlier we talked about the trick with our whole number and our bottom number, how to get the top number. I'm sure somebody forgot, Mrs. Nutter. Can you tell them real quick how to do it?
Take the whole number, which is 6, times the denominator, which is 3, and you will get your top number, numerator, which is 18.
Oh, you gave me the answer.
6 times 3 is
the answer.
18.
6 times 3 is 18. Go ahead and fill out the rest of that problem. All right. Hey, Mr. Carpenter, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Carpenter.
Come
say
say hi to our
hi.
kids. No. Or you can
They
say
miss
hi
you.
from there. You're good.
Oh, hi.
Oh, he's being antisocial today. All right, number 2. We're ready for number 2 on our next page. Not sure what page it is on your book because your numbers are different. All right, it says partition each whole into fifths. So we're breaking it down into fifths, and you're going to label each fraction, count up as you go, and box the fractions that are located at the same points as whole numbers. This one is pretty easy, I think. It's because it's starting at 0. Whoops, I didn't finish filling out that problem. Hopefully you went 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way up. Probably should have talked about that problem. My fault.
They're pretty smart.
They're pretty smart.
I'm pretty sure they got it.
So we're going into fifths. Okay, starting at 0. And going 1 and going 2. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to break it into fifths. Go ahead and do that. Okay, and then of course you're going to have fractions for each one. So break it into fifths. Have your fractions above, just like we've been doing. And they want you to be fancy, and they want you to box these fractions. Okay? All right, go ahead and hit pause. Get started on that. Your denominator is going to be 5 all the way through, and you got to break it into fifths. Go. All right, hopefully you got that. See if I can break it into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. So of course I have 0, so it is 0 fifths, 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4/5, 5/5. Let's use our trick. Our whole number times our denominator. 1 times 5 is
5.
5. Okay? Still counting up. 6/5, 7/5, 8/5, 9/5. Whoops. It's a lot of 5s. It's a lot of 5ths. And then 10/5. Let's use our trick. Our whole number times our denominator. 2 times 5 is 10. So that is how hopefully you did that. If not, see where you messed up. Make your corrections. Moving on to number 3. It says partitioning each of the whole into thirds. Label each fraction, count up as you go, and box the fractions that are located at the same points as the whole number. So we're not starting at 0 on this one. We're starting at 1. And we're breaking it into thirds. Okay? Starting at 1. What do we go to? Oh, all the way up to 4. So we've got 2, 3, 4. You're going to have your box fractions. Okay? So break each whole into thirds. Go ahead and write your fractions above and make sure your bottom number is going to be what, Mrs. Nutter?
3.
Because we're thirds. All right, go. All right. Hopefully it looks like this. All right, so each whole is broken into thirds. Hello.
Is Cheryl there?
Yeah, she is. We're filming right now.
Okay, sorry.
Nope, you're good. So we got 0. Oh, no. This is Nutter. I messed up. Why is it on 0 thirds?
Because you're at 1, which is
Oh.
a whole.
Oh, Sam Lake would have went crazy on that one. Said, oh, Mr. Stenicky, that's wrong. He would have blurted out. I would have sent him in the hallway. Anyway, messed up on that one. Sorry, Sam Lake. So it's 3 thirds because it's 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 thirds, 5 thirds, 6 thirds. 2 times 3 is 6. Keep on going. 7 thirds, 8 thirds, 9 thirds. Let's use our trick. Whole number 3 times our bottom number is 3 equals 9. 10 thirds, 11 thirds, and 12 thirds. 4 times 3 is 12. So that's how hopefully you did it. Number 4. Looks like you need to draw your own number line, starting at 0 and going to 3. You're going to label the wholes. So you're going to put 0, 1, 2, 3 on your number line, and you're going to partition them into fourths. Label each fraction from 0 to 3. Box the fractions that are located at the same point as a whole number. So you're going to box your whole numbers. And use a separate paper if you need more space. And you might need more space, maybe write small. So you need to draw a number line right now from 0 to 3. And don't forget to put 1 and 2 in there and break them into fourths. Might take a little bit, so make sure to hit pause and good luck. All right, so we're cutting it into fourths. Starting at 0, 1, 2, and ending at 3. We're having boxes above these. And we're breaking them into fourths. Sometimes if it's fourths, I like to break it into half. And then, so now I have 4. And break our halves in half. Because half of a half is a fourth. Say that 5 times fast. All right, so what are we gonna have? Oh, what's our bottom number gonna be, Mrs. Nutter?
Well, it's broken up into fourths, so the bottom number will be 4.
Great. And since I have 0 here, my top number is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. And we just keep on moving. 1/4, 2/4, which is a half. 3/4, 4/4, because it's 1 whole. 1 times 4 is 4. 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4. 2 times 4 is 8. And keep going. 9/4, 10/4, 11/4. May the force be with you. 12/4. So 3 times 4 is 12.
If I were to say that joke, you would make fun of me.
I would, probably. But hey, if you're at home and you're bored, watch Star Wars. Good movies. So that's the last problem on that page. Hopefully you did it correctly. If not, see where you messed up. Rewind it. Enjoy my joke one more time by rewinding it.
Oh boy.
We're about done, Mrs. Nutter and guys.
Exit ticket is homework.
Your exit ticket, it's going to be homework today. Okay? You're going to do it, and you're going to carefully rip it out. Not halfway down the middle of the page, like Braylon you did with one of your spelling papers already. Okay? So make sure to rip it out as carefully as you can. Let's talk about them real quick, and then I'll let you get them done, and then get them to school with your other work like normal. Number 1, it says estimate to equally partition and label the fraction on the number line. Label the whole fractions and box them. So we're dealing with fifths, okay, starting at 2. We're not starting at 0, not starting at 1, we're starting at 2 and going to 3. So you're not going to have any other whole numbers in between, so you need to break that large number line into fifths, label it correctly. And then letter 2, it says draw a number line with endpoints. What did I do?
Letter 2.
Sorry, number 2.
Sorry.
Number 2, which is not a letter. It says draw a number line with endpoints 0 and 2. And label the holes. Of course, you're going to have to put a number in between 0 and 2 in there that's a whole number, and hopefully you know that it's Mrs. Nutter.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about
She's
my...
not paying attention again. All right, so it's going to be 1, of course. And then you're going to partition each whole number into sixths. Wow, that's a lot of partitioning. So into sixths. You might have to erase a few times. And label them. And then, of course, box your fractions that are located at the same point as the whole numbers. Good luck. Can't wait to see your work. And like always, you can rewind it if you forgot how to do something. Rewind it, rewatch it. We miss you. Hope to see you soon.
May
We're
the
out.
force be with you.